important thing when you guys get into groups in second semester to do your social action plan. And what Melissa was talking about, being a pharmacy technician, I don't speak Vietnamese very well, and being in that field, I am more aware of language barriers and what to say and what not to say and how to explain things to Vietnamese speaking people. It is really hard. So whenever I have to speak to older adults, I have to think, pause, and think of the correct verbiage to explain the directions to the customers. So I don't know what else to say.
All right. So as you can hear from all the panelists, that CYWC has impacted them even after graduation, and they've gone on to do amazing, incredible things using the knowledge that they've gained. So we'll go back to Tim and Roger and Linda and ask, what was your initial reaction taking the class, and how has it changed throughout the year?
Oh, okay. I guess I'll backtrack a little bit and actually talk about how this class impacted me, since I didn't really talk about that the first time. And then if I remember, I'll talk about that. Right. So basically, yeah, forget what I just said about social media. It's all great. I think you guys can figure it out. I think the most important thing I got out of this class was not even the things we actually learned in class, because I don't remember the little details, but I remember the big picture. And I think that's what's ultimately the most important thing, the big picture of, going to class and actually doing something to create change. Because we always hear about, oh, I want to make change, I want to, do something to impact people. But during our classes, it's not likely we're ever going to get that chance to actually put something into practice, in theory into practice. And I think this class gave us the opportunity to actually go deep into these stats, take the stats and actually creatively do something about that for our own communities. And I think that's the most important part out of all this whole experience. Is I actually personally felt responsible for a lot of the things that came out, the good things that came out when people come up to us and say, wow, I never knew about this or never knew about that. And the second thing I think I got out of this classroom was just being in this classroom. Trust me, this summer I was literally just laying down on my room, not crying, but wishing I could go back in time to be back in the classroom. I think that's the best experience. So right now you might think going to the classroom is a drag, but trust me, I would die to take in your spots right now. Seriously, sitting in this classroom when I don't know about how this classroom is, the dynamics are going to work out, but for our classroom, we had about 12 people maybe, and every time it was time to go to class, I couldn't wait. It was the best class I've ever taken in all of Cal State Fullerton, and I've been here for a while because I got my undergraduate and my master's here. So looking back on that experience, there was no other experience that could top that. In grad school, I was like, dang, I wish grad school was like how it was in Dr. Tu Yen's class. Not only do you have the best professor at Cal State Fullerton, and probably in California itself, you're learning about the best. You're learning about things that are relevant to yourself. It impacts maybe your sisters, your friends, yourself, your parents, and things like that. So I think not only are you learning about things that matter to yourself, you're getting the chance to actually put your hands into the work and doing something about it, but just the experience of being around like-minded people who are striving to reach the same goals and objectives that you are. And Roger here was in the class with me, and these two were as well, and a couple other people. And we still have that friendship that built from that class, and I think that was the most important thing that I got from the whole classroom, was just the impact I think that we created, the lasting memories that I had in the classroom, and just feeling like, hey, I did something to create a little change. And yeah, so don't waste any class opportunity. Come every week and just make it what you want it to be, because really, this is like a book, and you have the pen or the typewriter, and you're writing your own story. So, the ending's how you all put into it, what you put into it. So, put 100% in, you'll get 110% back.
Thank you. Yeah.
classroom is 2 semesters, first semester and a second semester. I wasn't in the first semester, so Roger here told me about this class. He's like, oh hey, instead of taking this interview class, maybe you should check out Dr. Tu Yen, because I knew Dr. Tu Yen from my Asian American Studies class that I had with her. And I was like, okay. So I came and I decided, I was like, what class is it? He's telling me, hey, it's Asian American women. And I'm like, okay, I'm Asian American women, and I do like women. So it's a perfect, match. So, I came in not really knowing what Asian American women's public health was. I'm not a public health major. But I took the chance because Dr. Tu Yen is a great professor, and my friends were in the class, so I was like, hey, perfect opportunity. So, but I found out that, instantly that this class is really interesting. It's no joke. It's real statistics. You're actually learning research. You're able to think, learn to think analytically, creatively, and you practice things like public speaking. We did so many public speeches all the way from Garden Grove to Sacramento and back down the state. So I think, just little things like that that gave us a chance to hone our skills, and something that was what I didn't really initially think this class was about. I thought it was something else. So was my initial thought when I came to this class.
Thank you. Roger, same question.
Dude, you got me so juiced now. I want to take this class.
Kelly?
I wish. My first impression was this class is kind of boring. The first couple of weeks, I'm like, this is such a drag. Take a 3-hour class on Monday night. Man. But if you can get past that, it's probably the greatest class in your life. After that 3 weeks, I was so juiced to come to class. Tim wasn't in that class by then, but we had other people. We had Nina, Melinda, who's the nicest person I've ever met, and then Julianne too, who's really cool. But just to interact with these people you get to meet on a weekly basis, super chill. I know now, I'm not sure if you guys know each other well, but you should get over it. Meet each other, and you guys will just, you're going to mesh really well. I don't want to oversell semester 2, but it's the best ever. They pay for a trip to Sacramento. It's on the house, on off, and you do the workshop, granted, but after hours, we don't know what happens. But during the workshop, you get to use a lot of skills. You get to see all the researchy terms you learn. You get to be in front of really important people. You spend the night before, of course, being really nervous and you're shaking. Sorry. But yeah, it's so nerve-wracking the night before. And it's just a time where you bond with everyone around you. Not trying to oversell it, but fantastic experience. I recommend all of you guys stay on second semester. It's much cool.
Sadie was one of the members from our Kelsey Fullerton cohort 3 years ago.
Hello, I'm Sabby Lang. That's it. I don't know what else to say.
What did you study in undergrad?
I'm a sociology major, and I'm not doing much right now. That's it.
So what was your initial reaction to the class, and what was your impression after the year?
Well, I came into knowing about the class by accident because one of my friends needed a class, and I was taking Tulin's class for Asian American Studies, and I just asked her if she had any class opening, and that was one of it. So me and my friend came to that class, and that's when we found out what the class was about, and we thought it was really interesting, and then we got more involved during the second semester of the research and doing the papers.
You mentioned something about a paper. What's the paper?
Oh,
And what was it like?
it was intense. We spent our whole summer doing a research paper on the findings that we had on the findings of the Asian American females on campus between the ages of 18 to 24 and their sexual behaviors, I guess, right? Practices.
Knowledge and attitudes.
Yeah.
So a little bit found out that on campus, like API women had the least knowledge and also the least rate of pap smear in comparison to white, Latina, and mixed races. And so using that information, we came together to write a manuscript over the summer. And so we just got an invitation to do a manuscript, but we had no idea what a manuscript was until we started like having to brainstorm. And basically, yeah, like, you know, the articles that you had to read today, that was basically what we had to crunch out in like a summer. And it was really hard for us because we didn't have that level of writing yet. You know, we were just still undergrads, and so, you know, we had to get to that level of being researchers now. And that was really hard because, you know, we had Tubin and we had other people who were looking at our paper and, you know, reviewing it and giving us feedback. And let me tell you, you have to have a thick skin because then, you know, you realize how like bad and horrible your writing is.
Or how unprepared you were.
Unprepared you are. So, but then the result, when you do get published, it's like a really rewarding feeling. Yeah. Yeah. So that was everything. Yeah. Okay. What else? Does anybody have any questions for us?
Did you like have any knowledge of researching before the class, or before the second semester? Like any experience in researching?
Yeah, I did. Like being a social major, you take like a research methods, a stats class, and then like a computer stats class. So I like the most basic like, fundamentals, but not like applied skills, you know.
Yeah, the same like Roger. Taking those classes, not really having hands-on experience until taking this class for the second semester.
Melissa, do you want to mention something about like, you know, how at UCI it's really hard to get research opportunities?
Oh yeah, like, I mean, at UCI it's hard to in general just like get published on any like professors like paper, or just to get published for students, because it's, I mean, people are really like aggressive and like not that nice about it. Like, I don't know, students are like kind of aggressive. I don't know the word, just aggressive. And then, so then like opportunities aren't like really open. And teachers there, oh my gosh, their like expectations are so high. It's like, you need like 3.7 GPA, and I don't know, it's like impossible. Okay, it's not impossible, but then like, it's not easy. And then, for our cohort, we were given an opportunity, okay, let me think, sorry. Okay, no, okay, so during the school year, UCI, like, one group of kids from our class did a paper, the UROP, it's like undergraduate research opportunity, what's P? I don't know what P is, but it's really cool because they give you money and then it funds the research, and then so those group of students did it in the summer. Me and another group of students did the paper, and it was pretty cool because, like, you know how your question you asked, like, do you need any experience with research? Like, you actually don't, because, like, the teacher will, like, guide you and show you how to do it, so you don't really need to, like, I mean, throughout the course you will, like, learn and you'll pick up, but then like, I'm sure your teacher to the end will, like, you know, help you and guide you and provide you with the information that you need, so, and it's pretty cool, because once you're done, you're like, oh, like, all your work is like, it's like concrete, it's like in paper, it's like immortal, but not really, but it's like, I mean, it's like cool to have your name on something like that, you know? It's like, I don't know, the word's not immortal, but like, it's like forever, like it's on a piece of paper, because I know, like, this thing is like, okay, memories kind of fade a little bit, but this like paper is like forever, you know, like, okay, never mind.
It gives you credibility.
Yeah, it's like diamonds is forever, but this paper is like forever, but I don't know, does that make sense? It's just like on a